या हुसैन या सैयदा शुहदाई लहफी अलल अत्फाली यबकुना बिल अवाली قد أثقوا بالحبال ليس لهم من ثمال لغيبة الآباء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء لها في لأهل الفتوى من أهل بيت النبوة مبارزين بقوة دون الحسين عدوا فاداه يوم اللقاء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء يا لفتاه لصحبي لهكمات غلبي يا صاد يوم الحرب قد صرعوا في الترب موفنا حق الوفاء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء فمن طعين جريح ومن شهيد طريح ومن قتيل ذبيح صلت الجبين صبيح في الطف بالصحراء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء لله من شهداء طائب سعداء كريم فضلاء ماثل نبلاء في دينهم حنفاء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء قلبي يذوب بذكره متباتلا قلبي يذوب بذكره متباتلا آهن عليك يا ولي إلهنا آهن عليك يا ولي إلهنا في كربلاء عطشانا صرت مقتلا في كربلاء عطشانا صرت مقتلا نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء بلغ سلامي يا نسيم بكربلاء بلغ سلامي يا نسيم بكربلاء شهداء طف خاضعا متذللا شهداء طف خاضعا متذللا نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء قلبي يذوب بذكره متباتلا عصر عاشور تھا شبیر تھے تنہائی تھی ماہ زہرا پہ گھٹا ظلم کی جب چھائی تھی شہ کو جب نو کے سنا سوئے زمین لائی تھی گرتے گرتے لب زخمی سے صدا آئی تھی گرتے گرتے لب जख्मी से सदा आई थी, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो अम्मा, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो अम्मा। लुट गया हूँ मैं किसी की भी मुझे आस नहीं, कत्ल सब हो गए अब कोई मेरे पास नहीं, मेरा कासिम नहीं अकबर नहीं अब्बास नहीं, तुम मुझे आके कलेजे से लगा लो माँ, तुम मुझे आके कलेजे से लगा लो माँ, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो माँ, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो अम्मा। मैं जो घोरे से गिरूं तुम मुझे तस्कीन देना, प्यार करना मेरी हिम्मत को दुआएं देना, डाल कर है गले में मुझे लिपटा लेना, हद में ज़ब्ह मगर हाथ हटा लो माँ, हद में ज़ब्ह मगर हाथ हटा लो माँ, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो माँ, गर्म रेती पे मैं गिरता हूँ संभालो अम्मा। अपने वादे के लिए मैंने हरीज़ा सहली, एक अरमा मेरा निकले तो इनायत होगी, ज़ब्ह के वक्त यही तुम से तमन्ना है मेरी, सर मेरा खाक से जानों पे उठा लो माँ, सर मेरा खाक से जानों पे उठा लो माँ, घर में रहती। This Marsiya poem has been composed by the noble wife of Maulana al-Muqaddas Syedna Taher Fakhruddin As-Sayyidatul Fadila Ummul Mumineen Busaheba Sakina Aaisaheba.
O Lion of Allah, O brother of Muhammad, O Mawla Ali, who held aloft the mighty Zulfiqar, defeated the enemies of Islam, slew Abderwad, killed Marhab Antar, protected the Rasul, why have you sheathed your sword? And he replies, for the defense of Islam, it was drawn. For the safety of Islam, it is sheathed.
Khayrul Anaam Muhammadun wa wasiyuhu, Khayrul Anaam Muhammadun wa wasiyuhu, wal baratu Zahra wal Hasana كشف العمى وبهديهم قوم بهم كشف العمى وبهديهم هدي الورى من حيرة الطغيان من لا تتم صلاتنا إلا به من لا تتم صلاتنا إلا بهم وبهم ينادى وقت كل أذان خزان علم الله مهبط وحيه والموضحون شرائع الإيمان أعلام دين الله أركان الهدى سفن النجاة دعائم الإيمان حبل الإله فمن تعلقه نجا وهوى مخالفه إلى الخسران ولقد وقفت بكربلاء فجددت كربي وأذكت في الحشاء حزاني وذكرت في عاشور مصرع سيدي مولاي وأسفا على العطشان ولا بكيا على الحسين وصحبه بدم دائم تهتاني ولا بكيان على بنات محمد مسبية بالظلم والعدوان ما عذر قاتل أهل بيت محمد في الحشر عند الواحد المنان صلى الإله على نبي وآله ما غرد القمر يوفي الأغصان
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه وبوليه وداعيه نستعين في جميع الأمور الحمد لله وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى الله خير عما يشركون بديع السماوات والأرض وإذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلي وعلى آل محمد وآل علي حتى لا يبقى من الصلوات شيء وسلم وبارك وارحم وترحم على محمد وعلي وعلى آل محمد وعلي حتى لا يبقى من التسليم والبركة والرحمة والترحم شيء، كما صليت وسلمت وباركت ورحمت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بالميم والعين والحائين والفاي نيني لما أنا راجي هوا الفاي بالخمسة الحجوب اللاتي بها احتجبت ذات الذوات فأبدت نور لألاي مطالع النور من كان الظهور بها للمنصت السامع الواعي وللرائي تلك المقامات عند العارفين بها وسيلتي في معادي يوم رجعي أسمي ذي العرش العظيم عليا ما كنت إلا نوره الأزلي متوجا تاجا من الملكوت والجبروت من ذي الكبرياء سنيا ما كنت إلا للنبي محمد قسما برب العالمين وصيا وخا له وموازرا وخليفة وكذاك صهرا مكرما ووليا إن الأولى والوه في الفردوس هم يجنون دابا من جناه جنيا إن الأولى عادوه أهل النار هم أولى بها أبد الدهور صليا نص النبي عليه نصا واضحا بغدير خم كالنهار جليا كانت له الزهراء خير كفية حقا وكان لها كذاك كفيا أفهل سواه مشتكا يشكي لمن ناداه من خلق الإله شكيا إن أزعجتك ملمة أو كربة ورجوت تنفيسا فنادي عليا يا ذا المعالي يا أمير المؤمنين أغث صريخ المؤمنين وحيا يا ساقيا لوليه من كوثر الخلد اسقني منه بفضلك ريا يا فوز مرء مؤمن هو يذكر المولى عليا بكرة وعشيا أنسيم بالغ بالخضوع سلامنا مولى الأنام إذا بلغت غريا أنسيم بلغ بالخضوع سلامنا لنبينا طه مزارا أطهرا للمصطفى والمرتضى وابنيهما الحسنين والزهراء دمت وليا وأئمة الحق الرضا من ولدهم من قد أتوا في العالمين نصيا صلى الإله على النبي وحيدر وبنيهما من لاح قدام عليا وظائفنا تسبيح أسمائكم أيا بني المصطفى دابا ونعم الوظائف بتأييدكم نستطيع درس علومكم وتقوى على التقوى قوانا ضعيف وطول بقاء الفخر فينا فإنه لقطب الهدى والدين برهانه الأقوى فأبقاه رب العرش في كل نعمة وأعداؤه بالنار جبهاتهم تكوى وصلى على طه وعترته الأولى هم النعمة العظمى هم الغاية القصوى إذا ضاق بي يوما خلاقي وضاق بي سبيل النجاة ناديت يا أحمد أغثني أغثني يا ابن عم محمد وخذ بيدي مولاي روحي لك الفداء هم الذخر في الدارين لا ذخر غيرهم هم مستجار اليوم هم عدتي غدا يا إمام الهدى أقم عمادي واجعل التسكين في خلدي لست معتمدا على أحد ليس إلا عليك معتمدي وأتيتك يا ابن فاطمة مستمدا فأوفني مددي. Mumineen, Muminat, worshippers of Allah Ta'ala, those who believe in the ghaib, in the unseen. The Quran Majid says, Bismillahir, Rahmaanir, Raheem, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fihi Hudan lil Muttaqeen. Alif Lam Mim. This is the book, the revealed book. La Rayba Fihi. There is no doubt in it. Hudan lil Muttaqeen. In it, there is guidance for the pious. Those who believe in the unseen. In the ghaib. Hereafter, Jannat, paradise, Jahannam, judgment, resurrection, none of us have seen it. We are those who believe in it. Why? Mu'mineen, we believe because we have knowledge. Because our Mawali Tahirin, the prophets, have appealed to our intellect, to our reason that you have been created here in this world for a reason. There is a purpose, and they have shown us a path. Mu'mineen, Mu'minat. We are gathered today in the majlis of Amirul Mumineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. We are worshippers of the Almighty Allah Ta'ala, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. We are the Ummat Khasa, the selected Ummat of Muhammad, Rasulullah, Allah Ta'ala's messenger, the seal of the prophets. And we are the Shia Khulasa of Amirul Mumineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Qaidul Ghurril Muhajjalin, Sayyidul Wasiyin, the master of all the awsiya, the legatees. Amirul Mumineen, Salawatullahi alayhi, was one day asked. It is narrated that Zalab al-Yamani asked him, Hal ra'ayta rabbaka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen? Amir al-Mu'mineen, addressing Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali, he asked, have you seen your Lord? Amir al-Mu'mineen replied, Afa a'budu ma la ara? Would I worship what I do not see? He was asked, so how do you see him? How do you see him? Amir al-Mu'mineen replied, La tudrikuhu al-uyun bimushahadati al-ayan, walakin tudrikuhu al-qulub bihaqa'iq al-iman. Eyes do not perceive him. Our sensory eyes do not see him through physical observations. But our hearts, our minds perceive him with true belief. Mu'mineen, we are amongst those who see the Almighty, perceive the Almighty, recognize the Almighty through His awliya, Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan and Hussein. They take us to the Almighty. These awliya show us that look at the creation, that you can perceive with your eyes. And then with the mind that the Almighty, that grace, that blessing that He has bestowed you with, consider where did it come from? This extraordinary creation, this universe that we all live in. How is it here? Why is it here? Our Hudad Kiram then answer those questions. That yes, there is a creator. Yes, there is a reason for this creation. In their knowledge, they have that knowledge, why it was created, how it was created, when it was created. Mu'mineen, by taking barakat, blessings, sips from the ocean of that knowledge, we perceive. As Amir Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayhi says, taking barakat from his knowledge, from his divine knowledge, we perceive the Almighty. That is where our faith comes from. That is where our conviction comes from. Mu'mineen, Amir Mu'mineen continues, قريب من الأشياء غير ملامس بعيد منها غير مباين. He, the Almighty, is near to all things without touching them, yet far from them without being apart. He is close yet far. متكلم بلا روية مريد بلا همة صانع لا بجارحة. He speaks without the need to reflect, wills without the need to aspire, crafts without the need for hands. لطيف لا يوصف بالخفاء كبير لا يوصف بالجفاء بصير لا يوصف بالحاسة. He is sublime but cannot be described as concealed. He is mighty but cannot be described as harsh. He is all-seeing but cannot be described as having eyes. Mu'mineen, Amir Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayhi, Ainullahi al-Azima, the true eye of the Almighty. He sees, he perceives. Raheemun la yusafu birriqqah ta'nu al-wujuhu li'azamatih wa tawjalu al-qulubu min makhafatih. He is merciful. He is merciful, but cannot be described as having compassion. All faces bow to his majesty. All hearts tremble in awe. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, we perceive the Almighty through our awliya, through their guidance, through their ilm. The Almighty, with our sensory eyes, we cannot perceive. His awliya, they are amongst us. That is why the Almighty sent his prophets in human form, so that we can see them, we can speak to them, they can speak to us. They can teach us how to live our lives as humans, how to perceive the Almighty with our intellect, with our minds, with our hearts. In the Quran Majid, it is said that those who disbelieve say that why did Allah Ta'ala not send angels? Mu'mineen, Amir Mu'mineen, one of his khutbahs, he says that if Allah Ta'ala wished, he would have sent angels, if he would have sent his prophets as humans, but given them all the wealth, all the might, there would have been none left but who followed the prophets. But that is the test. You have a choice. These awliya, they guide you. They give you this knowledge. They show you the path. Do you follow or not? You see them. They promise you Jannat. Do you follow them or not? Mu'mineen, we are fortunate. We offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala that we do tasbih of the names of Panjatan, Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan and Hussein. There never were and there never will be like the five Panjatan. Humul khamsatu tuhru man la nadhira lahum fil bawaqi wala fil khawali.
هم الخمسة الطهر من لا نظير لهم في البواقي ولا في الخوالي.
Mu'mineen, mu'minat, by our recognition of Panjatan Pak, by our belief in their successors, the successors of Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, and Hassan and Hussein, one Imam after another, until the 21st Imam, Tayyib Abul Qasim Amirul Mumineen, his successors one after another, until the Imam of our age, Tayyibul Asr wal Awan, Khalifatul Rahman, Sababul Amni wal Awan. And during their seclusion, the Imam's seclusion, by our belief in their du'at, the 20th Imam, Imam Amir bi Ahkamillah, appointed at the hands of Mawlatuna Hurratul Malika, the chain of du'at mutlaqeen. The first da'i, Syedna Zoeb, then one da'i after another appointed by us until the 51st da'i, Maulana Taher Saifuddin, his successor, the 52nd da'i, Maulana Mohammad bin Taher, Ridwanullahi alayhima, and their successor, the 53rd da'i mutlaq, Babaji Sahib, Maulana Syedi Qutbuddin, Ridwanullahi alayhi, and the successor of all du'at kiram, Da'i al-Asr wal-Hin, the Da'i of our age, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin, Ata'allahu baqahu sharif ila yawmiddin. Mumineen, it is Allah Ta'ala's wisdom that He is unseen, but His names, those who enable you to recognize Him, they are seen, they are here amongst you. That is Allah Ta'ala's justice, that His representative on earth is one who you can communicate with, one who can speak to you, who can appeal to your heart, to your mind, to your reason, and help you sitting in this world to perceive the Almighty. By seeing them, we perceive the Almighty, which is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us this bisharat mu'mineen. Rasulullah's words are weighed. The Quran Majid says, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Rasulullah just does not speak on a whim. It is indeed wahyun yuha, revelation, that Rasulullah encapsulates in his words. The Quran Majid is such, the Shari'at of Islam is such, Rasulullah's hadith is such. Rasulullah has said, you've heard this. In this context now, listen to this bayan. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Tuba liman ra'ani. Tuba is a tree in Jannat. Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati tuba lahum wa husnu ma'ab. The Quran Majid says, those who believe wa amilu salihati and do good deeds. Mu'mineen, belief is not sufficient. You must act upon it. Ilm, knowledge, and then act upon what you learn, what you are guided to. We will do bayan of that inshallah. The Quran says those who believe, alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, do good deeds. Salihat no amal, there is much meaning in these words also, mu'minin. Tuba lahum wa husnu ma'am. They will have a blessed return, they will have tuba, they will have Jannat. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Tuba liman ra'ani. Tuba Jannat for those who see me. Literally it is see me. Then he said, Tuba liman ra'a man ra'ani. Jannat Tuba for one who sees the person who saw me. Person A sees Rasulullah, for him is Tuba. Person B sees person A who saw Rasulullah, for person B also Tuba. Then Rasulullah says, thrice removed, Tuba liman ra'a man ra'ani. Person C sees person B who saw person A who saw Rasulullah. Mu'mineen, Rasulullah's words are words of wisdom. Our Hudat Kiram, Sayyidna al-Muayyad al-Shirazi does this bayan, that there are many who saw Rasulullah. If this was about seeing him in the flesh, then there are polytheists, mushrikeen, Abu Lahab, who the Quran says, Tabbat yada Abu Lahabin wa tab. That Abu Lahab, he is in Jahannam, is going to be punished. Ma aghnam anhu maluhu wa ma kasab. His wealth, his power will not help him. Sayasla naran dhat al-lahab, he will be in Jahannam, one with flames. Wamra'atuhu hammalat al-hatab, his wife will be carrying the wood to burn him. Mumineen, there is much meaning in the Quran. So Abu Lahab also saw Rasulullah. Many mushrikeen saw Rasulullah. If this was about physical seeing, it is not. And then another argument. Person A, B, C. What about person D? Only those three, they have Jannat. Where is justice? Our Hudat Kiram say that it is not about physical perception. It is about marefat, recognition. The person who truly recognized Rasulullah, marefat, his high station, was Amirul Mumineen. Tuba liman ra'ani. Amirul Mumineen, Jannat for him. Tuba liman ra'a man ra'ani, second removed. The Imams, Amirul Mumineen's successors, they truly perceive Amirul Mumineen's high station, his maqam. Tuba for them. And third time, Tuba liman ra'a man ra'ani. Third removed. The Du'at Mutlaqeen, they perceive the Imams. Their high station, their true nature, their divine nature, their lahud, their nasud. How an Imam is born. Why an Imam is an Imam. Why he is capable of receiving divine inspiration and ta'een. Why belief in him leads us to Jannat. And Mumineen, we offer hamd and shukr to the Almighty that we are among those who perceive in this time of seclusion, with our minds, with our belief, with our hearts, the Du'at Mutlaqeen, as the representatives of the Imam. For us, then, is this bisharat, these glad tidings, that we truly recognize the Du'at, who truly recognize the Imams, who recognize Amirul Mumineen, who perceive and recognize Rasulullah. And by that perception, that ma'rifat, that knowledge, we have Tuba. Mumineen, alhamdulillah, we offer hamd and shukr to the Almighty for this ma'rifat. And we, our Aqa, our Mawla, we physically also perceive him. It is said that an-nadaru ila al-Ka'bati ibadah. When you even look at Baytullah, the Kaaba, with your eyes, it is worship, ibadat. It garners blessing. Mumineen, the successor of Rasulullah in this day and age, Imam Zaman, seeing him, perceiving him, is as if we saw Amirul Mumineen, as if we saw Rasulullah. And so in the time of Satar, perceiving his da'i, seeing his da'i as if we are seeing the Imam, the Panjatan Part. An-nadaru ila al-Ka'bati ibadah. Kaaba is a symbol. The symbolized is the Imam. In the time of seclusion, it is the da'i. Which is why we say that when you gaze, do didar of Aqa Mawla, that is a blessed thing. With this ma'rifat mu'mineen. Which is why in the Madeh, Mian Sahib Ibrahim submitted that Panjatan Tayyib Zama dekha.
जो देखा आपने तो पंजतन तैब ज़मा देखा हकीकत आह में जानी घनु जीवो मलक छो आप इब्दाई मलक कुदसी थया ज़ाहिर लईक़ा लब इंसानी घनु जीवो करी दी दो अदावत नो चमन फल फूल सी आबाद पिलावी इल्म ना पानी घनु जीवो हिदायत हमने आपोशो सादात हमने बख्शो शो बिशारत दो शोकबानी घनु जीवो इमामुल असरनी दावत न खातिर मोमिनी खातिर दुआ शे एम सगलानी घनु जीवो
Mu'minat. We gaze upon our Aqa, our Mawla, with this marefat. When we do so, we garner thawab. We perceive him as Imam uz-Zaman's da'i. We garner thawab. Mu'mineen, we are gathered in this majlis today. On the 8th of Muharram, the majlis of Amirul Mumineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi alayhi, to do zikr of Amirul Mumineen's ilm, his knowledge. The knowledge that is life for our souls, that enables us to perceive our Creator, that enables us to fulfill our purpose in life, to live our lives, to reach our destination. Mu'mineen, we are gathered on the 8th of Muharram, the days of Aqa Hussain. Our remembrance of Aqa Hussain is also with marifat, with understanding, with the recognition of the deep philosophy. Why we remember Aqa Hussain? Mu'mineen, Aqa Hussein's Shahaadat. We remember Aqa Hussain every year, every day, because it is because of Aqa Hussein's Shahaadat that Kalimatu Shahaadat, the deen of Islam persists. Shahaadat in Arabic, in the Arabic language. Shahaadat, Kalimatu Shahaadat. That is our attestation. Shahaadat means attestation, declaration, that we bear witness. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That is Shahaadat, Kalimatu Shahaadat. And Shahaadat also means martyrdom. Sacrifice for the sake of Kalimatu Shahaadat. Which is why in our bayans we always say that Hussaini Shahaadat ina sabab si Kalimatu Shahaadat baqiyat. Because of the martyrdom, Shahaadat of Hussain, the Kalimatu Shahaadat, La ilaha illallah, the deen of Islam, remains. Such is the Shahaadat, the martyrdom of Aqa Hussain, the sacrifice that he did, that in his progeny the imamat continues. The imams established the da'wat. Mu'mineen, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin in his qasida, praying Salam on Aqa Hussain alayka, Salamullahi mazluma Karbala, Imam al-Huda, Kahfar Rada, Kashif al-Bala. We pray this bait with the niyat and intention that in these holy days, may our salam reach Aqa Hussain.
Alayka salamullahi mazlum Karbala, Imam al-Huda, Kahfar Rada, Kashif al-Bala.
In that qasida, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says, Shahidtu bi'an lawla shahadatuhu lama wajadna ala al-ardina mar'an muhallila.
شهدت بأن لولا شهادته لما وجدنا على الأرضين مرءا مهللا.
Shahidtu, I attest, lawla shahadatuhu. If it were not for Aqa Hussein's shahadat, his martyrdom, lama wajadna ala al-ardina mar'an muhallila. If it was not for Aqa Hussein's shahadat, his martyrdom, we would not find anyone on the face of this earth declaring the Shahadat, La ilaha illallah. Mu'mineen, we are on the path of Islam. We are mu'min today because of Hussein's Shahadat. Because of Hussein's dua in his sajda, which when we narrate every time Hussein's Shahadat, we say this, that in his dua, Hussein remembered each and every one of us. By virtue of that dua, we are mu'min today. Hussein did not forget us in his last breath. In the plains of Karbala, 3 days of thirst and hunger, having sacrificed his Ahl Bayt Ashab in his last sajda, Hussein remembered us in his dua. Mumineen, which is why our Hudat Kiram say that Hussein never forgot you, never forget Hussein. Hussein ne hargiz na bhul jo. Kaka ji Sahib, Abdeen Bhaisaheb Muhyiddin al-Maula al-Ajal al-Allama, Maulana Taher Saifuddin's mentor, Syedna Abdul Hussain Husamuddin's son, in a Marsiya says, Ya Husaina, wama nasitu Husaina. Ya Hussein, I will never forget Hussein. قد تلقيت في رضا الله حينا.
يا حسين وما نسيت حسينا قد تلقيت في رضا الله حينا.
Hussein, I will never forget you, Hussein. In the path of Allah, you sought Shahaadat, martyrdom. Maulana Muhyiddin says, Lahfu nafsi la yanqadi li Husaynin wa dhawihi wa sahbihi al-Mustafayna.
لهف نفسي لا ينقضي لحسين وذويه وصحابه المصطفين.
My lament, my mourning for Hussein will never end. His لله در علي سن للأكرمين دفع الهوينا.
لعلي لله دار علي سنة للأكرمين دفع الهوينا.
I will lament Ali, Zainul Abidin Ali, Hussein's successor Ali, Lillahi Darru Ali, Ajab Shanna Ali. Who is Ali? His sunnat, his forbearance, his sabr in Karbala is a lesson for us all. Mumineen, Hussein's Shahaadat, by his Shahaadat, there is a great lesson. Inna fi dhalika la'ibratun li'ulil albab. Hussein, we also say this, that in Hussein's Shahaadat, his sajda symbolizes that in his descendants, the imamat will continue till the day of judgment. Is this not, we talk of miracles, mu'jiza, ayat, proof that Hussein's successor, Ali Zainul Abidin, is right there in Karbala with him? Ali Zainul Abidin's son, his successor, Muhammadul Baqir, a very young age, is there in Karbala with him. Hussein takes them along. Maulana Taher Saifuddin in his bayan used to say कि दुश्मनों ने हुसैन ने कत्ल करवामा गरज शू हती. What was the intention of the Yazidi army, the enemies of Islam, in killing Hussein? कि नबी ना घर पर ताला लागी जाए, कोई नबी ज़्यादा इमाम बाकी ना रहे, that the doors of the prophetic household would be locked shut. There would be no Nabi Zada, no descendant of Rasulullah remain, no descendant of Rasulullah would remain. Maulana Taher Saifuddin used to continue, magar ye gharaz puri na thi, that they were not able to achieve. Ali Zainul Abidin, Ummatna Imam, Baqi, Ali Zainul Abidin remains. Hussein's symbol in his sajda, the Imam, his successor, remains. One who establishes da'wat, one who declares La ilaha illallah. Hussein's Shahaadat is an ayat, is Allah Ta'ala's proof that his word, his light will never be extinguished. Baqiyatu sayfi abqa adada, what the sword did not take will now have many in its descendants. Mumineen, Karbala is such though. Ali Zainul Abidin, the Imam of the age, the one who frees the world, the people from this prison from this material prison. Ali Zainul Abidin is in shackles. Ali Zainul Abidin in his neck has an iron collar. After Hussein's martyrdom, he is held captive, an iron collar in his neck, handcuffs in his hand, shackles in his feet, and bare feet, leading Hussein's Qafila caravan, the Haram. He is forced to march from Karbala to Kufa to Sham to Damascus. It is narrated that Ali Zainul Abidin, as he walked barefoot, shackled, if a thorn pierced his feet, he would sit to remove the thorn. The Yazidi army would come from behind him and jab him with the spear. Chalo, chalo, because of you we are getting delayed. Mumineen, our awliya, their forbearance, their sabr. Ali Zainul Abidin, the Imam of the Ummah, and yet he is captive. But he is Ali, he is Hussein's son, he is the Imam. Mumineen, remember Ali Zainul Abidin, remember Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein,
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 Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
पैदल चलते जाते हैं, दिल खाए जाते हैं, पैदल चलते जाते हैं, दिल खाए जाते हैं, आबिदे बीमार की सब्र की ये शान है, नवा के दाश्त में हश्र का सामान है, भूखा प्यासा हाय हाय उम्मत का मेहमान है, 3 दिन के भूखे प्यासे साबिर और शाकिर रहे, 3 दिन के भूखे प्यासे साबिर और शाकिर रहे, अहले बैत मुस्तफा तीर का निशान है, नवा के दाश्त में हश्र का सामान है, भूखा प्यासा हाय हाय उम्मत का.
Hussein, Azad Arani Ali. The Quran Majid says, Yuriduna yutfi'u nur Allah bi afwahihim wa ya'ballahu illa yutimma nurahu walau karihal kafirun. They seek to extinguish Allah Ta'ala's light, the divine light, by blowing it out. Wa ya'ballahu illa yutimma nurahu. Allah Ta'ala will protect its light. Walau karihal kafirun. Even if it displeases the disbelievers. Mu'minihin Maulana Mohammad bin Taher says, Kam aradu itfa nurin yuridu Allahu itmamahu fa anna wa aina hafidallahu nurahu bi aliyin kana lil abidina wa dina zaina.
كما أرادوا إطفاء نور يريد الله إتمامه فأنا وأنا حفظ الله نوره بعلي كان للعابدين والدين زينا.
Maulana Mohammad bin Taher in his Marsiya says that they tried to extinguish the nur of Allah, but Allah Ta'ala protects it. Hafidallahu nurahu bi aliyin. Allah Ta'ala protected his divine light. Ali Zainul Abidin. وسيجري إلى القيامة فيهم وبه قد يقر أحمد عينا.
وسيجري للقيامة فيهم وبه قد يقر أحمد عينا.
And this imamat, this nur will continue in his descendants, mu'mineen. We believe in the continuity of the imam. Has there ever been a more critical time than Karbala, when Hussein was surrounded and slain in this tragic manner? His successor were present. All were slain. The Yazidi army had all the might. Ali Zainul Abidin was held captive for months after that, until he was released and left for Medina. Inshallah, we'll do zikr of that on Ashura. And yet, they were not able to extinguish Allah's light. Hussein's remembrance, Hussein's example, Karbala is an attestation that Kalimatu Shahaadat, the religion of Islam, the nur of the imamat, will continue till the day of Jannat. Hussein's dua in his sajda, we say that symbolizes that in the time of the imam's seclusion, a da'i will establish Hussein's da'wat. Hussein's da'i, mu'mineen, today we have answered his call and gathered here today. Answering his call, remembering Hussein, we attest, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Aliyun Waliyun. With this marefat, with this recognition, we remember Hussein. Mu'mineen, the remembrance of Hussein is a farizat, is part of our faith. There are those who say that weeping for Hussein, doing matam, lamenting Hussein, is a bid'at, is an innovation. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam has said, Man baka wa abka wa tabaka ala al-Husayn wajabat lahu al-Jannah. We follow Rasulullah's sunnah. Rasulullah has said that he who weeps for Hussein causes others to weep for Hussein. Does bayan, praise Marsiya, oh tabaka, those who are not able to shed tears, but show grief in their face, have grief in their hearts for Hussein. For all of them, Jannat is wajib. Paradise is guaranteed. Mu'mineen, with this marifat, we remember and weep for Hussein. Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
मातम करो हुसैन अलैहि सलाम नो मातम करो हुसैन अलैहि सलाम नो मातम करो अजीजों तमारा इमाम नो मातम करो अजीजों तमारा इमाम नो मातम करो हुसैन अलैहि सलाम नो रोई लो कर बलानी बाला पर ए भाइयों रोई लो कर बलानी बाला पर ए भाइयों गुरफत मिले जजा माही दारो सलाम नो गुरफत मिले जजा माही दारो सलाम नो मातम करो हुसैन अलैहि सलाम नो वो कर बलाना नक्शा दिलो माँ करीन बास वो कर बलाना नक्शा दिलो माँ करीन बास मातम करी लो मुमिनो खैरुल अनाम नो मातम करी लो मुमिनो खैरुल अनाम नो मातम करो हुसैन अलैहि सलाम नो वो
Zadaran Hussein, mu'mineen, mu'minat. Our matam of Hussein, remembrance of Hussein, is not simply a ritual. It is not simply a tradition. It is a ritual, it is a tradition with deep meaning, with a deep philosophy which we reiterate every day. There are many aspects to it. Mumineen, it is said that one who prays one rakat with understanding, knowledge, ilm, a knowledgeable person prays one rakat. It is the equivalent of an ignorant person praying 1,000 rakats. When we remember Aqa Hussain with this marefat, with this recognition, with this belief, our remembrance of Aqa Hussain is rewarded multifold. Mumineen, with this recognition, continue to remember Hussain in this majlis, throughout this majlis, and we will pray Hussain Shahaadat at the end, and inshallah, in the 2 days that remain, tomorrow, Tasu, the 9th of Muharram, and then the 10th of Muharram. On that day, set the world aside, and from morning till evening only remember Hussain. Mumineen, may Allah Ta'ala grant us life, tawfiq, guidance, that on this Ashura also, according to the guidance of our Hudat Kiram, we remember Hussain from morning till evening. Ya Hussain,
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 Ya Hussain.
क्या वो गम का अफसाना भूलने के काबिल है? क्या वो काफिला प्यासा भूलने के काबिल है? क्या फुरात का पहरा भूलने के काबिल है? कत्ल आम इतरत का भूलने के काबिल है? भूल जाएंगे सब कुछ करबला ना भूलेंगे, भूल जाएंगे सब कुछ करबला ना भूलेंगे, जो हुसैन पर गुजरी वो जफा ना भूलेंगे, भूल जाएंगे सब कुछ करबला ना भूलेंगे, जुल्म जो मुसाफिर पर हो गया न भूलेंगे, इसकी तिश्ना कामी का माजरा न भूलेंगे, इब्तिदा न भूलेंगे, इंतहा न भूलेंगे, फातिमा के प्यारों का मर्तबा न भूलेंगे, भूल जाएंगे सब कुछ करबला न भूलेंगे. या हुसैन,
Azadaran Hussain, Hussain, Sayyid al-Shuhada, the king of the martyrs, the master of the martyrs, and his father, Abu Shuhada, the father of the martyrs, Amirul Mumineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. We are gathered today in his majlis to do his zikr, to perceive, to try and perceive, I should say, his high station. Amirul Mumineen himself said, Inna li manzilatan la takhturu ala qalbi bashar. That my station, la takhturu ala qalbi bashar, you cannot even imagine it. Wa innal uluhata la takhturu ala qalbi bashar. You may perhaps imagine the divine. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin was asked, how did Amir Mumineen say this? You can imagine the divine, but you cannot imagine my station. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin answered, the divine is the divine. Amir al-Mumineen was in human form, walking on this earth, in that Bashari Qalib, in that human form, to have that high station, that is unimaginable. Amir al-Mumineen, our Hudat Kiram, Mumineen, describe him in many ways. Each epithet indicates one of the great aspects of Amir al-Mumineen's high station. Ainullahi al-Azima, Ali. Ismullahi al-Azam, Ali. Hijabuhu al-Akram, Ali. Ayatul Ayat, Ali. Ghayatul Ghayat, Ali. Qa'imul Dhat, Ali. Mazharul Bayinat, Ali. Mamthulul Sa'ah, Ali. Waliyul Shafa'ah, Ali. Asadullahi al-Ghalib, Ali. Mu'til Matalib, Ali. The exalted eye of the Almighty, Ali. The most greatest, the supreme name of Allah, Ali. the most noble veil of the Almighty Ali, the sign of all signs Ali, the ultimate end of all ends Ali. Qa'imuz Zat, one established by the Almighty Ali, Mazharul Bayyanat, one who shows extraordinary miracles Ali, Mamsulus Sa'ah, the one who symbolizes the Sa'ah, the judgment, the master of the day of judgment Ali, the Lord of intercession Ali, the victorious lion of Allah Ali, the bestower of all supplications Ali, Amirul Mumineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, Mu'til Matalib Mumineen. We recognize Ali as Allah Ta'ala's light. The Qasida I prayed at the beginning of this majlis, Maulana Tahir Saifuddin, you heard that the Aimmat, the Du'at, they enable us to recognize Amirul Mumineen enables us to recognize Rasulullah. Rasulullah enables us to recognize the Almighty. Syedna Taher Saifuddin says in his Qasida, Samiyya dhil arshil azim aliyya, ma kunta illa noorahul azaliyya.
أسامي ذي العرش العظيم عليا ما كنت إلا نوره الأزليا.
You are the namesake of Dhil Arsh, the Lord of the throne. Ali, you are his namesake. You heard in the previous majlis, Allahu Ali and his servant Amirul Mumineen is Ali. Ma kunta illa noorahul azaliya. You are not but Allah Ta'ala's eternal light. In another Qasida, Mumineen, Maulana Abdul Qadir Najmuddin said, Hal mazharo zil arshe siwa sinvir rasuli fi kulle zuhuri am hallil wara mu'tin siwa ho kulla suli. Is there any manifestation of Allah's light except Ali? That same sentiment Maulana Tahir Saifuddin conveyed in a Qasida in Gujarati. Mazhar che bhala kaun, Khuda na ne hum naam, Maulana Ali che. Haidar che bhala kaun, Khuda na ne dirgham. Is there a lion of God except Ali? Maulana Ali che. Mumineen, Babaji Sahib, Maulana Qutbuddin. When I was very, very young, one of the first memories I have was I was fortunate to be born in his home, to have been nurtured by him. One of the first memories I have is that at night time, when I was very young, Babaji Sahib would put me to bed. He would recite this Qasida, Mazhar che bhala kaun, Khuda na ne hum naam, Maulana Ali. We grew up doing tasbih of Amirul Mumineen.
मज़हर छे भला को खुदा ने हम नाम मौलाना अली छे हैदर छे भला कौन खुदा ने दिरगाम मौलाना अली छे छे कौन भला कोनो मकान माही मौजूद आलम ना छे माबूद छे कोना भला हाथ माई जाद ने दाम मौलाना अली छे.
The Qasidas of our Hudat Kiram in praise of Amir al-Mumineen, the Imams, Rasulullah, are not simply hyperbole and praise as others praise kings and nobles. In these Qasidas, they show us the station, the position of these Mawali Tahirin. That Ali is Allah's light. That Ali, as Maulana Tahir Saifuddin continues in his Qasida, Ma kunta illa lin Nabiyyi Muhammadin qasaman bi Rabbil Alameen wasiyya wa akhan lahu wa muaziran wa khalifatan wa kadhaka sihran mukraman wa waliya.
ما كنت إلا لنبي محمد قسما برب العالمين وصيا وخن له وموازرا وخليفة وكذاك سهرا مكرما ووليا.
You are for Nabi Muhammad, his wasi, his successor, his brother, the one who came to his aid, his Khalifa. You are also his noble son-in-law, and you are Allah's wali. Mumineen, we recognize Amirul Mumineen as Allah's divine light, a manifestation of Allah's divine light. Mazhar Dhil Arsh, we recognize Amirul Mumineen as Rasulullah's successor. Our Hudat Kiram have given us this true recognition that Ali and Muhammad is the first. Amirul Mumineen, as you will hear in Zikr of his Sirat, prayed behind Rasulullah for years. There are those today, on the one hand, those who say that Ali is the fourth. Give precedence to a usurper who said on the mimbar that a shaitan comes to me on the mimbar, that if I err, you correct me. There are other usurpers who say similar things today. A leader who says, correct me, and you will follow him when he says that I will take you and fulfill the purpose of your life. So there are those who say that Ali is fourth. Then there are those who say that Ali is divine, who believe in Ali, that Ali is a incarnation of the Almighty, that Ali himself is divine, that in actually Jibreel, there are some who also believe this, that Jibreel was supposed to take the message of the Almighty to Ali, but mistakenly he gave it to Muhammad. This is a mockery, Mumineen. This is not a mailman who delivers the wrong letter to a different household. This is Allah Ta'ala's angel, Jibreel. Nazala bihir Ruhul Ameen. Allah Ta'ala in the Quran Majid describes Jibreel as Ameen, one who is entrusted and who will fulfill his entrustment. Amanat, Ameen, one who is worthy of entrustment. Which is why Maulana Tahir Saifuddin says, Man yaqluhu aw yaghlu fihi fa innahu qad jaa shay'an la mira'a fariya.
من يقله يغلو فيه فإنه قد جاء شيئا لا مراء فريا.
One who does qulu in Ali, considers him lesser than what he is. Aw yaghluhu, considers him more than what he is. Both of them are saying nonsense. Mumineen, we believe that Ali is Allah Ta'ala, manifestation of Allah's light. He is Rasulullah's wasi. That is his station. That is a high station. Rasulullah himself said so many hadith in shan of Ali. On one occasion, when Amir Mumineen returned from a battle, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that Allah Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu wa rusulahu anka radun. Allah Ta'ala, His angels, His messengers are pleased with you, Ali. ولولا إني أخاف أن تقول فيك الناس ما قالت النصارى في عيسى ابن مريم لقلت فيك اليوم قولا لا تمر بملأ من أمتي إلا أخذوا التراب من تحت قدميك يرجون بذلك البركة والرحمة. That if I did not fear that people would say about you what the Christians say about Jesus Christ, Isa ibn Maryam, that he is the Son of God, I would have said something today that you would not pass from anyone, pass by anyone, except that they would take the soil from beneath your feet and take barakat from it, barakat and rahmat from it. Mumineen, Maulana Taher Saifuddin in another qasida, Da'i Abi Turab, Amir al-Mumineen's kunyat was Abu Turab, father of Turab. There is much meaning in that also. Abu Turabin jadduhu laytani asbahtu min alayhi fit turbi.
أبو تراب جده ليتني أصبحت من عليه في التراب.
Abu Turab, Amir al-Mumineen, I wish it would be my good fortune that I would be dust in his feet. His feet are so elevated. Mumineen, Muminat, this is the high station of Amir al-Mumineen. Ali ibn Abi Talib, Mu'til Matalib. Amir al-Mumineen, Maulud Kaaba, born in the Kaaba. Amir al-Mumineen, after his birth, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did his kafalat, nurtured him. When Rasulullah was of a young age, his father Maulana Abdullah, his grandfather Maulana Abdul Muttalib, they did his kafalat, nurtured him. Then they passed away. Rasulullah's noble uncle, Kakaji Sahib Abu Talib, a Mustaqar Imam, then took him and nurtured him. Now Ali, Abu Talib's son, when he is born, Rasulullah says that let me now nurture your son Ali. So Ali from a young age is with Rasulullah from the beginning. Even from before that, Rasulullah has said that خُلِقْتَ أَنَا وَأَنْتَ يَا عَلِيُّ مِن نُورٍ وَاحِدٍ. When we were created, in the origin, we were created from one source of light. Amir al-Mumineen, then, as you heard in a previous majlis, Rasulullah established the deen of Islam at 40 years of age, Rasulullah's age. The first to answer the call of Islam was his noble wife, Mawlatuna Khadija bint Khuwaylid, Laylatul Qadr as-Sughra. The first man to answer Rasulullah's call to Islam was Amir al-Mumineen at a very young age. Rasulullah, Maulana Ali remained with him in the initial years of Islam. Only Rasulullah and Khadija, only Ali and Khadija praying with Rasulullah for many years. Until Rasulullah then migrated to Medina, Hijrat. You heard that Amir al-Mumineen lay in Rasulullah's bedroom, protecting Rasulullah, so that Rasulullah would have a safe passage to Medina. Then in Medina, Amir al-Mumineen fought in all the battles. In the battle of Badr, Amir al-Mumineen was at the forefront, a young man at that time. You heard in yesterday's majlis that the Umayyads, they were keen to seek retribution for those who Amir al-Mumineen had slain in Badr. Because a young man, he had slain many. After the battle of Badr, you heard also that Rasulullah married Ali with Mawlatuna Fatima. Izdawaj al-Iman wal-Islam, a marriage of Iman and Islam. Much meaning in that also, Mu'mineen. After that, the battle of Uhud, Amir al-Mumineen is with Rasulullah, protects Rasulullah, fights for Rasulullah. Aliyun minni wa ana minhu. Rasulullah says at that time, Ali is from me, I am from Ali. Then in the battle of Khandaq, after Uhud, the mushrikeen, the polytheists of Quraysh, brought together an army of nearly 10,000 people at that time and laid a siege to Medina. One side of Medina are such rocks that it is inaccessible. When we were there with Maulana a short while back last year, for Umrah in Medina, we see when you land in Medina, you see that there is one side that is very, very rocky. An army could not walk through there. The side, and then on one side there are mountains. The side that is exposed, there Rasulullah dug a trench, a khandaq, to protect Medina. This army had amassed from one narrow side of the khandaq, the trench, Amr bin Abdewad, a very well-known knight of the polytheists. His chivalry was known. The might of his sword was known. He crossed the trench and came in. He started, it was a tradition that they would call for battle in verse form. And he said, لَقَدْ بَحَحْتُ مِنَ النِّدَاءِ بِجَمْعِهِمْ هَلْ مِن مُبَارِزٍ
وَلَقَدْ بَحَحَتُ مِنَ النِّدَاءِ بِجَمْعِهِمْ هَلْ مِن مُبَارِزٍ.
It is narrated that Amr bin Abdewad said, is there anyone who is coming to face me? I have tired from calling out. Is there anyone willing to challenge me? It is narrated in our kitabs that Awwal Thani at that time went to Rasulullah and said that only you can face him. Their intent was that Rasulullah would be killed and they would say story over. Amirul Mumineen, a young man at that time. What a man! La fata illa Ali, la sayfa illa dhul fiqar. Amirul Mumineen, Rasulullah calls Ali, Halalul Mushkilat Ali, the one who resolves hardships, Ali. In that time, Rasulullah calls Ali. Amirul Mumineen says, I am here. Ana hadir. Rasulullah gives him his sword, Dhul Fiqar, gives him his armor. And Amir Mumineen then goes in battle, faces Amr bin Abdewad. Amr bin Abdewad, a storied knight. Amir Mumineen, a young man. When Amir Mumineen faced Amr bin Abdewad, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Barazal imanu kulluhu ilal kufri kulli. Iman, faith, religion personified is facing kufr, disbelief. That was Amir Mumineen. Amir Mumineen replied to Amr bin Abdewad also in verse, Uthbut ataka lima da'uta mujibu sawtika ghayru ajiz ذو نية وبصيرة والصدق ينجي كل فائز.
أثبت أتاك لما دعوت مجيب صوتك غير عاجز ذو نية وبصيرة والصدق ينجي كل فائز.
Wait. I am answering your call. I am not incapable. I have strong intent. I have perception. And truth shall always be victorious. Inni larju an taqum alayka na'ihatul janaiz. Your janaza will come out of here very soon. Amir al-Mumineen then addressed Amr ibn Abdewad and said that you are known that when someone gives you a choice, calls you to one of two things, you answer one of them at least. You accept one of the choices. He said yes. So Amir al-Mumineen says, gives him a last chance, that I ad'uka ilallahi wa ila rasulihi. I call upon you to accept the Almighty and His Messenger. Amr says, that is not going to happen. Amir Mumineen says then, if not that, then I call upon you to battle me, to fight me. There was some blood relation between Amr ibn Abdewad and Amir Mumineen. So he said, I do not wish to fight you. There was some connection between Umar ibn Abdewad and Abu Talib, Amirul Mumineen's father. Amirul Mumineen at that time replies, you do not wish to fight me, but you have come in battle against Rasulullah, Allah's messenger. I wish to fight you. Umar bin Abdewad was angered by this. He got down from his horse. It was a tradition that these knights, they did not wish that anyone else would ride their horse. So he struck his horse down and started the battle started. He took out his sword. In the heat of the battle, he came towards Amir al-Mumineen. The dust rose. It is narrated that Rasulullah and the Muslimin were all watching what will happen here. Rasulullah raised his hands to the heavens and prayed for Amir al-Mumineen for victory. The fight continued until Umar ibn Abdewad struck Ali, and the helmet that he had cracked open. Amir al-Mumineen was even wounded. Then Ali struck Umar bin Abdewad, struck him on his head, cut him down. The dust was still there. It was not seen what is happening. Everybody was anxious. When the dust settled down, they saw that Ali is wiping his sword on Umar bin Abdewad, the blood. The Ansar, the Muslimin at that time said, Allahu Akbar. Jibreel said, La fata illa Ali, la sayfa illa Zulfiqar.
Shah marda sher yazda quwwate parwardigar, la fata illa Ali, la sayfa illa Zulfiqar. Afata sayf si Salam no yaro qiwa murtaza dar upar Allah na lakho salam. Murtaza Rabbna niche taj sarve awliya, Mustafa na ye वसी छे औसियाना छे खिताब मुर्तज़ा दर ऊपर अल्लाह ना लाखों सलाम.
The deen of Islam, the religion of Islam, this is one battle. Rasulullah fought 28 battles. In every battle, Amir al-Mumineen, at his hands, Allah Ta'ala gave Rasulullah victory. Amir al-Mumineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, in Khandaq, in the battle of Khandaq. Then, in Khaybar, in all the battles, when Rasulullah went towards Makkah and Hudaybiyah for Umrah, at that time, they did not let Rasulullah in. Rasulullah signed the peace treaty. Amir al-Mumineen was instructed by Rasulullah to write up the treaty. Amir al-Mumineen wrote Rasulullah's name, Muhammadun Rasulullah. The polytheists said, no, we don't accept this. If we accepted you as Rasulullah, as the messenger of God, we would let you in. Rasulullah said to Ali, remove Rasulullah. Ali said, I will not remove it. Rasulullah then himself wrote, Min Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Muhammad son of Abdullah. After Hudaybiyah, the polytheists of Quraysh broke the treaty, broke the truce. Rasulullah, in the declaration of war, first sent Abu Bakr. Then Allah Ta'ala's command came, La yuballighu anka illa minka. Someone who is with you, from you, should convey this message. Rasulullah sent Amir al-Mumineen. Amir al-Mumineen took the bara'at, the declaration of bara'at, that we are now, there is no longer a peace. We are now at war. Amirul Mumineen alone went to Makkah, stood in the Kaaba and read Suratul Bara'at. Bara'atun min Allahi wa Rasulihi illa alladhina ahadtum min al-mushrikeen. Mumineen, after that, soon after that, Fath Makkah, Rasulullah led the conquest of Makkah, entered Masjid al-Haram. Amir al-Mumineen is with him. Amir al-Mumineen was commanded by Rasulullah to stand on his shoulders and remove the idols from on top of the Kaaba. وَكَسَرْتَ أَصْنَامًا نُصِبْنَا ضَلَالَةً فَهَوَيْنَا مِنْ بَيْتِ الْإِلَهِ هُوِيًّا.
وكسرت أصناما نصبنا ضلالة فهوينا من بيت الإله هويا.
Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says that you broke these idols. Mu'mineen, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin was asked, how is it possible that Ali stands on Rasulullah's shoulders? Rasulullah, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin answered that Rasulullah is an Imam, he is a Quran and Atiq. Ali is an Imam, he's a Quran and Atiq. If you have a Quran Majid, a printed Quran, you should not put anything else above it. But if you have one copy of the Quran and you put another Quran on top of it, that is fine. Muhammad and Ali are Adila Mahmal. Both are. Muhammad is Sabiq. He is the predecessor. He is the first. And Ali's high station is such that they are both equal. Which is why Maulana Imaduddin in his Qasida says, Innahu wal Mustafa al-Mukhtar fi Shayamil Majdi Adila Mahmali.
إنه المصطفى المختار في شيم المجد عديل محملي.
They are both the same, they are both equal. Mu'mineen, after Fath Makkah, Rasulullah returned to Medina. Then Hijjatul Wada, the Hajj, the farewell Hajj, after which Rasulullah appointed Amir al-Mumineen in Ghadir Khum and said the divinely inspired words, Man kunta mawlahu fahadha aliyun mawlahu. Allahumma wali man walahu wa adi man adahu wa ansur man nasarahu wa akhzul man khazalahu wa adir al-haqqa ma'ahu haythu dar. Rasulullah appointed Ali as his successor. Then Rasulullah passed away his Shahaadat. Amir al-Mumineen's Mimbar Mihrab was usurped. For nearly 26 years, this Ali, at whose hands the deen of Islam was established, sat at home. The Zahiri Khilafat, then the Muslimin came to him and accepted him as Rasulullah's successor. Afterwards, they came to him. Amir al-Mumineen said, only if you accept me as Rasulullah's Khalifa. They said, we do. Amir al-Mumineen remained as the Khalifa in temporal control also for 4 years. That too in battle with Muawiyah. In the battle of Camel with Aisha, Talha and Zubair. Then with Muawiyah. Then with the Khawarij. Until Amir al-Mumineen's Shahaadat. Inshallah, we will recite it at the end of this Majlis Mumineen. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Aliyun minni wa ana minhu, as you heard. Ali is from me, I am from Ali. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Aliyun minni bi manzilata Haruna min Musa. As Harun was to Musa, Ali is from me. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Ali Aliyun minni bi manzilati ruhi min badani. Ali is from me as my soul is to my body. Mu'mineen, there is much meaning in this. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as you heard in the previous majalis encapsulated the wahy, the revelation, the ta'id. the flow of the divine knowledge that he received into the Quran Majid and the Shariat. That was Rasulullah's burden. That was Rasulullah's miracle. Now, his wasi Ali, yuqatilu ala ta'wilihi. That burden, that effort to explain the meanings of this tanzil, that which has been revealed, is Amirul Mumineen. Mumineen, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, Inni tarikun fikum thaqalain, kitab Allah wa itrati. Ahle Bayti, I am leaving behind two things. Kitab Allah, the Quran, and my successors, Ahle Bayt, the Imams. Ma in tamassaktum bihima, lan tadillu. As long as you hold on to them, you will never be misguided. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen, salawatullahi alayhi, was the repository of Rasulullah's knowledge. Amir al-Mumineen said, Fatah Ali Rasulullah min al-ilmi alfa bab. Rasulullah opened 1,000 doors of knowledge for me. In Fatah Ali min kulli babin. Now Ali's station is such that he opens from each one of those doors. In Fatah Ali min kulli babin alfa bab. Another 1,000 doors. Mumineen, as we said in the beginning of the majlis, what we practice, Aqa Hussein's matam, prayers, namaz, dua, the Quran, these are not just rituals and traditions. Zakat, Som, the fasting of Ramadan, there is meaning to it. Amirul Mumineen and his successors explain that. Just as someone may ask that, why is it that the Quran and the Shariat, why are there symbols? There are many reasons for that. One answer is this, that just as we need to accept Rasulullah, that he is Allah Ta'ala's messenger, to know what is revelation, what is the Quran, what is the Shariat. We need to accept Rasulullah to be able to have this guidance. Similarly, we are in need of Rasulullah's successors to understand the meaning in it. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen, salawatullahi alayhi, his knowledge is extraordinary. Abdullah bin Abbas, son of Rasulullah's uncle, Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib. Abdullah bin Abbas is accepted by most Muslims as a very learned scholar. He was asked about his knowledge and his knowledge in relation to Amir al-Mumineen Ali. He said that knowledge was divided into 6 parts. 5 of the 6 were given to Ali. The rest were distributed amongst everyone else. Then he said that if you ask me what my portion of that is in relation to Ali, how much would a small bird drink? That is what I am compared to Ali. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen is an ocean of knowledge. Amir al-Mumineen said, Saluni amma dun al-arsh. Ask me about anything. Anything under the throne of the Almighty. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin was asked this question, does Ali not know above? What is above? He answered, he knows, but that is not your place to know. Amir al-Mumineen said, Saluni qabla an tafqiduni. Ask me before you lose. Mumineen, in the 30 years after Rasulullah's wafat, the 26 years at home, Amir al-Mumineen took that time to mentor Hassan and Hussein, to transfer the knowledge that he had to Hassan and Hussein. That knowledge from father to son, one imam to another. The knowledge of Ali, the knowledge of Rasulullah is with the Imam of our age today, Mumineen.
मदह अली के पढ़ने से गोया, मदह अली के पढ़ने से गोया, खुशबू महकती है आंबर की, खुशबू महकती है आंबर की, वस्फ़ अली है नादे अलिया, वस्फ़ अली है नादे अलिया, नूरे इलाही के मज़हर की, नूरे इलाही के मज़हर की, दरबात तय से मौला अली के, दरबात तय से मौला अली के, जान गई अमरो अंतर की, जान गई अमरो अंतर की।
Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam has said, Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin wa muslima. To seek knowledge is a faridat, is compulsory on every Muslim man, every Muslim woman, Muslimin wa muslima. Mumineen, that is the tradition of our Hudat since the beginning. There is no discrimination in knowledge, in seeking knowledge, in the ability to rise in the ranks of knowledge. وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. The Quran Majid says those who receive knowledge, those who have knowledge, those are in the highest ranks of Jannat. Amirul Mumineen salawatullahi alayhi said, Al-ilmu wirathatun karima. Ilm, knowledge, is the best inheritance. In one instance, Amirul Mumineen, to one of his disciples, one of his Shia, Kumail bin Ziyad, said this, Kumail, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. The inheritance of knowledge, in relation to that I am doing this zikr, that inheritance of knowledge, of wisdom is the greatest inheritance. Amir al-Mumineen said to Kumail, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. Ilm, knowledge is better than mal, than wealth, monetary wealth. Al-ilmu yahrusuka. If you have knowledge, that safeguards you, it protects you. It enables you to make the right decisions, the right choices. Wanta tahrusul mal, money you have to protect. Al-ilmu hakimun wal-malu mahkumun alayh. Ilm is the ruler. Wealth is ruled over. Al-malu yanfad wal-ilmu yazku ma'al infaq. When you spend wealth, money, it decreases. When you impart wisdom and knowledge, your knowledge increases. Amir Mumineen then said, Mata khuzanul amwal wal ulama'u baquna ma baqiyat. The people who treasure wealth, monetary wealth, are all gone and forgotten. Wal ulama'u baqun. The people of knowledge are remembered today. Baquna ma baqiyat dahr. They are alive throughout the ages. Ajsamuhum mafquda. Their bodies are lost. Wa atharuhum fil qulubi mawjuda. Their signs, their knowledge are still alive in people's hearts. Mu'mineen.
इल्म पर लाजिम राहो
Amirul Mumineen said knowledge is the best inheritance. Babaji Sahib Maulana Qutbuddin used to say that sometimes people call, he said this in Gujarati, that between Mumineen, someone may call another kya jahil che. This is someone who's ignorant. Babaji Sahib said that never say this to your fellow Mumin, your brother Mumin. For every Mumin, yes, there is a wide variety in terms of the level of knowledge, understanding, perception. But our Hudat Kiram have said that the greatest knowledge that a Mumin has, every believer has, is that he believes, he has this knowledge, that this is the truthful Nabi, the truthful Prophet. This is the truthful Wasi, his successor. Hada Nabiyyu Haqqin, Hada Wasiyyu Haqqin, Hada Imamu Haqqin. This is the truthful Imam. And in his succession, Hada Da'i Haqqin, this is the truthful Da'i. Having that knowledge, that belief, that recognition enables you to receive all the other knowledge. This wealth of knowledge, that inheritance you pass to your children, that is the greatest inheritance. As you protect your wealth, passing on to children is another thing. Having that wealth to give is first. When you concern yourselves about your children, before that, concern yourselves about maintaining this wealth of knowledge. For material wealth, you have to work, you have to toil, make an effort. And you must, we must. For this ilm also, it does not just happen. Searching on the web for a few minutes that information overload is not enough. What is true, what is not? Who do you trust for knowledge? With this recognition, if you approach ilm, those who are the true successors of Rasulullah, who have received his knowledge, who have that inheritance, trust them. Mumineen, in the general Muslimin, they have various opinions. There is one Zikr of Abu Haneefa. In the four schools of Islam, Abu Haneefa is the father of one of those schools of jurisprudence. They consider him to be very learned. Syedna Qazi Nauman does Zikr of Abu Haneefa, that one man came to him from Khurasan during the time of Hajj and asked him, he was a leader in his tribe, asked him various questions of jurisprudence. What is the right thing to do in the context of a marriage or inheritance or punishment in crime? He gave answers. The next year, the same man came and asked him the same questions. He gave all different answers. The Khurasani man said, last year you gave me these answers. Now you're saying this. He said, that was my opinion last year. My opinion this year is different. He became very angry that based on your opinion, I deemed marriages legitimate or illegitimate. I spilled blood in punishment. So you are saying that next year if I come and ask you again, you will tell me even something different. Abu Hanifa said, I don't know. The Khurasani said, I know that Allah's lanat is on you. Mu'mineen. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin often says that in the interpretation of the Quran, matters of jurisprudence, there are opinions, maybe this, maybe that. Our Hudat Kiram, they have the true knowledge, they have the inheritance of the true knowledge. From Rasulullah, from Amirul Mumineen. Even before, Rasulullah said, Al-ilmu alladhi nazala bihi Adam. The knowledge that was revealed to Adam, فَهُوَ فِي مُحَمَّدٍ وَعِتْرَةِ الطَّاهِرِينَ. It is in Muhammad and his successors. Mu'mineen, that ilm, that knowledge is with our Huda. The knowledge Science research is very focused on the how. How was this universe created? What happened at the beginning? How our bodies function, the physiology, how to heal the body. All of that is fascinating. But the why, concern yourself with that also. Why was the universe created? We know we are here. There are very few people who believe in the matrix who deny existence, their existence itself, but those are few. Most intelligent people don't. We do exist. Yes, you can concern yourselves with the how and the what, but concern yourself with the why. Why was this universe created? Why are we here? What is our purpose? That knowledge. Then if you attain that level that you are convinced based on the reason and the knowledge given to you, that here we are for a purpose, we are here to attain the eternal life by answering the call of our Prophet, which is Allah Ta'ala's da'wat. By following his Shariat, then concern yourself also by why do we practice the Shariat in the way we do? Why are they 5 Farizat compulsory prayers? Why 30 days of Ramadan? Why those particular days? All of these questions, exert your energy, invest your time in understanding this, so that when you follow your faith, you do so with conviction and understanding. Mumineen, the doors of knowledge are open. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ana madinatul ilmi wa aliyun babuha. I am the city of knowledge. Ali is its doorway. Faman arad al-madinata falyatil bab. Whoever seeks knowledge should come to its doorway. Rasul Amirul Mumineen's successors, each Imam is the doorway to the city of knowledge. In the Imam's seclusion, the Da'i is the doorway to the city of knowledge. Amirul Mumineen, salawatullahi alayhi, said, as you heard, Saluni, ask me anything. He said, Saluni qabla an tafqiduni, ask me before you lose me. He used to say, Inna ha huna, on his chest, Inna ha huna la ilman jamma. There is extraordinary knowledge here. Amirul Mumineen encouraged questions. Amir Mumineen has said, Husnul su'al nisful ilm. Asking a good question is half of knowledge, because if you think, ask, knowing who to ask, that is also important. Not just asking Google or AI. Ask a trusted source. Maulana Qadhi Nauman in Da'imul Islam has a whole chapter about who you should ask, who you should take knowledge from. The prophetic knowledge, Rasulullah's knowledge, Ali's knowledge is with his successor, the Imam. In his seclusion, that knowledge is with the Du'at. Babaji Sahib wrote a Risalat after Syedna Burhanuddin's wafat. The title of that Risalat he gave, Barakatu Irsid Du'at. These are the barakat of the heritage, the knowledge of the Du'at. That true knowledge. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said, Utlubul ilma walau bis sin. Seek knowledge even if you have to travel to China. It is narrated that in the time of Ali Zainul Abideen, people had heard this hadith. So they said, let's go to China. Behlul, one of Maulana Ali Zainul Abideen, Hussain Imam's successor, people thought that he did not understand much. But he believed he had the knowledge that this is our Imam. True knowledge is with him. When he heard about this caravan, he went outside Medina on the route where the caravans would exit Medina. There he was looking for something when the caravan came. The people of the caravan asked him, what are you looking for? He said, I lost something very important. They helped him look for it. After some time, they asked, do you know where you dropped it? Oh, I dropped it in Medina. So they said, you dropped it in Medina? You're looking for it here? That is foolishness. He said, indeed, the Imam, The repository of the knowledge, the divine knowledge is here, and you're going to China. Mumineen, the source of knowledge, Imam Zaman, his da'i is here today. That same knowledge. Amirul Mumineen said, ask, because he knew. Amirul Mumineen, the usurper, Lai Insani said, Man sa'ala anil limmiyati faqad kafar. Anyone who asks a question about why, lima, why, is a disbeliever. Never question. Amirul Mumineen says, ask. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin, in a munajat that he wrote a few years ago, said that I am the da'i of Imam al-Zaman, da'i of Imam al-Asr, ana tahirun fakhrul huda, da'i Imam al-Asr, dhu majdin biyumnahu jalali, biyumnahu jalal, wa ilayya yasri kulla hinin fayduhu. To me, the Imam's faiz, his knowledge, his wisdom flows. Indil jawabu, liman, walim wa mata wa hal. I have the answer. Answer to the questions why, when, whether. Mumineen, Imam Zaman, Amir Mumineen's da'i, with that confidence says, ask me. Here with Maulana's raza, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin's raza and permission. We started the Husn Sual series with that intent, that ask, seek knowledge. Simply to say, I don't understand, or it does not make sense, then figure it out. Spend time. People spend years in school, in college to get a single degree. For dawat knowledge, for knowledge that will impact your life here and the year after, will you not spend time? These Waaz, majalis, asbaq, Maulana's bayans, majalisul hikmah is there to give you that knowledge. Inshallah, with Maulana's raza, Fatemi Academy will also be established soon. It will be announced soon, classes, courses, framed in a time-bound matter with a curriculum available in English, so that there is no excuse that I cannot understand this language. Regular hours for certain periods so that you can do a course, so that there is no excuse that I don't have time. Imam Zaman's da'i wants to make this knowledge accessible to you, so that you believe with understanding, so that your faith is reinforced with knowledge, so that you practice religion, pray namaz, give zakat, do hajj, do umrah, understanding what it means, not just ritualistically, not just because your parents did so, or because the thal that you like to go and sit at, those people do, and you want to eat biryani. Not for societal reasons, for the salvation of your soul. That conviction only comes from understanding. That conviction only comes from knowledge. Mumineen, we offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala that we have the barakat of this knowledge, the barakat of the aimmat, imams, the du'ats knowledge. We are taking that barakat, those blessings in these majalis, understanding the why we are here, why we remember Aqa Hussain. What is the meaning of the stories, the qisas of the prophets? Those barakat are for us, Mumineen. We offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala. Mumineen, one zikr, Maulana Qazi Nauman, you heard, says that be conscious who you take knowledge from. There is a parable that in the Banu Israel, in the sons of Israel, there was a pious man. Very pious, he, old, till an old age, 80 years, he worshipped the Almighty. This pious man the Satan, tried to take him away from the straight path, from worship of the Almighty. For 40 years, he failed. The man was very of strong conviction. So then Iblis, the Shaitan, came to him wearing the clothes of an ascetic, himself pretending to be a worshipper, himself pretending to be pious and knowledgeable. What he did was he put a patch on his left eye, a leather patch on his left eye. Now the truly pious man asked him out of concern, "What happened to your eye?" Iblis tells him his intention is to mislead the pious man. Iblis tells him nothing happened to it, but the Almighty, the first thing that He will judge us upon is what we saw in this world, things that we should not be seeing. So I thought that the Almighty would, hold me accountable only for one eye, and I would safeguard the other from being held accountable. This is what I saw the pious people in my lands do, and I am doing the same. The worshipper, the pious man, the truly pious man, he, looking at this man and his justification, thought that perhaps he is right, and he himself put a patch. Iblis, his intention was that once he would cover his eye, he would not be able to do proper ablutions. The water would not reach. Now this pious man, the truly pious man, kept doing this, kept the patch for many years, until a true alim, a real knowledgeable person, a scholar, visited him, asked him about his eye. He told him that this man came and this is what he told me. The scholar told him that the man that came was actually Iblis. He was unsuccessful with you in luring you into other traps and materialism. So he came then wearing the garb of a scholar, a pious man to you, to entrap you. He sought that you would pray without ablution, without taharat. Now take the patch off, renew your amal, your deeds. If you continue this way, your deeds would not be accepted. The pious man then repeated years of prayers after removing the patch. Iblis said, "Wailakum bil ulama." The true scholars, they will not let us succeed. Mumineen, a patch on the eye is selective vision. That is blind faith, that you see something, like it, follow it. Babaji Sahib used to say that we do not say blind faith. That is something people say, that I have blind faith, as if they are very strong in their faith. That is not good. Blind faith means that you are following just because it is convenient and because right now it works. The wind comes this way and you'll be thrown this way. Another wind comes that way and you'll be thrown that way. Imagine here in the US, driving on the freeway, eyes closed. Would you ever do that? Falling asleep is another matter, but you wouldn't do that in your physical life. For your afterlife, you will do that. Open your eyes. As we said in the beginning of this bayan, this is not just about physical perception. This is perceiving with your mind, and that only happens with knowledge. Seek knowledge from the successors of the Prophet. the Imams and their du'at, mutlaqeen, mumineen. There is much bayan in this. Inshallah, on another occasion, we will continue the bayan of ilm. You heard Amirul Mumineen's kalam that al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. Yes, you spend your time earning a livelihood. Spend part of it at least for this knowledge. Come to the majalis. Listen to majalisul hikmah. Take part in sabaq. Inshallah, this academy will be launched. Take that opportunity to learn. And mumineen, these jewels of knowledge are priceless. They are much more worthy than material jewels. Maulana Ali Saifuddin in his Nasihat says, "Ilmana moti jaro." Take the pearls of wisdom and knowledge.
ilmna moti jaro परवानी हट ना करो अपना मोला सीदरो की का भाई जल्दी परो
Mu'mineen, mu'minat. In this day and age, there are, as Iblis went and tried to misguide the pious man, there are those who are wearing the same garb of piety. Pretending to have knowledge, pretending to be pious. Allah Ta'ala has given you intelligence. Seek the truth. Maulana Mohammad bin Taher, in his kitab, quotes a bayan from one of the du'at in the time of the Fatemi Imams. He says that when a time comes where there are multiple claimants to the imamat, in the imam, they would both have to be the sons of the previous imam. If that is the case, then it is incumbent upon you to see this. For the imamat, you need to see who has the true knowledge. Who has the ilm? For it is that ilm that Rasulullah, the knowledge of the Quran, the knowledge of the Shariat, the ability to explain that so that it appeals to your reason, that it makes sense. Where you see that wisdom and that knowledge, that is where haqq is. Mu'mineen, the Quran Majid says, وَكَانَ عَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. Allah Ta'ala's throne is on water. Now, most Muslim scholars, the exegetes explain this, that this is a very beautiful metaphor. First of all, the throne, what is the throne? Is Allah Ta'ala a physical being that He needs a throne to sit on? The Quran Majid says that Allah Ta'ala, in one instance it is said that created the heavens and the earth. وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. We were not tired. In another instance, it says that we rested. Which one is it? The literal contradictions are there. The Quran says, لَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدَ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. If it was from someone else other than the Almighty, they would have found in it many differences or contradictions. Ikhtilaf. In the literal sense, they are there. The meaning of it is with our huda. If you understand that, there is no difference. There is no contradiction. Returning to this ayat, وَكَانَ عَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. Allah's throne is on water. The meaning is this. Water symbolizes ilm, knowledge. As you heard, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. From water we give life to everything. Eternal life is through knowledge. Now, Allah's throne is on water. What does that mean? Arsh, if you invert it, is shar'. Religion, da'wat, stands on water. It is established on knowledge. That is the source of the authority, not temporal authority. You heard the zikr of Zainul Abideen. Zainul Abideen was Hussein's successor. He was Imam Zaman. He was the source of knowledge, even when he was a captive. In this world, Allah Ta'ala, لِيَمِيزَ اللَّهُ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ. Those, so that Allah Ta'ala gives preference to those who are pious and good to those who choose materialism. Temporal authority is not the source of authority in religion. The knowledge is. Mumineen, we offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala and we seek His guidance. Mumineen, I wish to do much more bayan on ilm and on Amirul Mumineen's instructions that al-ilmu maqroonun bil amal. What you learn, the knowledge you have, it is connected with then acting upon it. As Maulana Tahir Saifuddin has said in his nasihat, ilmana saathe lazim amal she, bewesi hasil har ek amal she.
Allah Ta'ala no hamd tu kar je, ek pal na bari ne banda visar je, aur wate wuthqa ne muhkam pakar je, jaan par ilm na johar ne jar je, ilm na saathe lazim amal बेवसी हासिल हर कामल छे अल्लाह ताला नो हमद तू कर जे.
Ilm and amal, knowledge and action both go hand in hand. They are the two wings by which you can ascend to the heavens. Mumineen, may Allah Ta'ala grant us tawfiq for ibadat ilmiya and amaliya. Worship of knowledge. Seeking knowledge is worship. True knowledge, that is worship. Acting upon that, praying, is worship, amaliya. And knowledge is not just limited, as you've heard in previous majalis, of how to pray, how to go for hajj, what to do in zakat, or the bayan of Anbiya and their stories. Our Hudat's knowledge, their wisdom is also how to live. Their guidance is how to be the best version of a human being possible. To not be arrogant, to not have jealousy, to be truthful in all contexts, to not betray, to be humble. Inshallah, we'll do more bayan on this in tomorrow's majlis. Our Hudat Kiram even say that even when you walk, the Quran says, وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. Walk lightly and humbly. Speak softly. Be jovial. Don't get angry easily. Forgive someone and let go. All of this guidance, Mumineen, that is part of our Hudat's knowledge. That is part of their guidance. That is part of our religion. Help others. Mumineen, may Allah Ta'ala grant us the tawfiq, the guidance to worship Him, to seek the knowledge of Ali Muhammad, to ask these questions, to ask them from the source of knowledge. Those who have inherited the knowledge of Anbiya, A'immat, Imam Zaman, and his Du'at Mutlaqeen, and the Da'i of our age. Babaji Sahib Maulana Qutbuddin was a sea of knowledge, an ocean of knowledge. His successor, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin, is the repository of that knowledge. The knowledge of the Imams, the knowledge of the Du'at. Fortunate are those who sit at his feet and seek that knowledge and take barakat of that knowledge. In Shairullah al-Muazzam, Maulana gives bayan, Anwar al-Quran, the light of the Quran. Continuous asbaq, sabaq, lessons are there, mu'mineen. I offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala that I seek the knowledge from Amirul Mumineen's da'i today. I received that barakat. Maulana Taher Saifuddin used to say in these majalis, Maulana's Waaz is broadcast, this bayan is broadcast, that the rain showers everywhere, where the soil is receptive. Then there is vegetation and plant and growth. When it's a ball dropped, it flows away from it. Mu'mineen, that is up to us, what to seek, how to receive. May Allah Ta'ala grant us that tawfiq. We offer hamd and shukr in this majlis. Alhamdulillah alladhi ja'alana min shi'ati man ja'alahum lil muttaqina imama wa nasabahum lidinihi alama wa lisirrihi aqlama. We praise the Almighty, offer hamd and shukr that we are from the Shia of the Imam al-Muttaqeen, Amirul Mumineen and his successors. Those who are the flags, the banners of his religion. Those who are the pens that write down his secrets in our hearts. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, in this Mubarak Majlis we pray salawat on Muhammad and Ali and the successors of Muhammad and Ali, the Imams. The 21st Imam, Tayyib Abul Qasim Amirul Mumineen, his successors, Tayyib al-Asr wal-Awan, their du'at mutlaqeen, Babaji Sahib Maulana Khuzaima Qutbuddin, his successor, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin. May the barakat of this salawat, by that virtue, may the barakat of this salawat flow with abundance to Maulana Taher Fakhruddin. May the fuyuz, the inspiration, the ta'id of the Imam flow to Maulana Taher Fakhruddin. By virtue of that, may Allah Ta'ala grant him Nasr Aziz and Fatemi Mubin. Glorious victory. May Allah Ta'ala protect him. May Allah Ta'ala grant him longest life. May Allah Ta'ala enable us to take his barakat, to reside in his cool shade, to partake from the ilm of Ali Muhammad, to ask these questions, to learn the knowledge that will give us life in the hereafter. Mu'mineen, may Allah Ta'ala grant us the recognition, the ability to see with our eyes clearly and see more clearly and perceive more clearly with our hearts and minds. May Allah Ta'ala grant us tawfiq to practice what we learn. Ilm and amal. May Allah Ta'ala grant those of us seeking education, degrees in school and colleges. May Allah Ta'ala give all of them success. May Allah Ta'ala give them tawfiq to also seek this knowledge, this divine knowledge. May Allah Ta'ala, by the virtue of Amirul Mumineen, halal mushkilat, resolve our hardships. Mu'mineen ayyu amrin mushkilin la yanjali hina yud'a ya Ali, oh ya Ali. There is no difficulty, there is no hardship that will not be resolved when you call out to Ali, ya Ali, ya Ali, ayyu amrin
mushkilin la yanjali hina yud'a ya Ali, oh ya Ali, ya Ali, oh ya Ali, oh ya Ali, ya Ali, oh ya Ali, oh ya Ali.
May Allah Ta'ala fulfill by the virtue of Muhammad, Ali and their successors. May Allah Ta'ala fulfill all your wishes, answer all your prayers, ease all your difficulties, show you, guide you to make the right choices in difficult times when you are faced with challenges. Seek tawfiq from the Almighty. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Do tasbih of Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim and make choices. Do tasbih of Ali and make choices. إِذَا نَادَيْتَ مَوْلَانَ عَلِيًّا أَغَاثَكَ فِي الْمُهِمَّاتِ الصِّعَابِ. If you call Ali, call upon Ali. He will come to your aid when you believe in him. You recognize him, he will come to your aid. إذا ناديت مولانا عليا أغاثك في الملمات الصعاب إذا ناديته مستهديا في الأمور هداك منهاج الصواب صواب. If you seek guidance from him, he will guide you.
إذا ناديت مولانا عليا أغاثك في المهمات الصعاب إذا ناديته مستهديا في الأمور هداك منهاج الصواب.
Mu'mineen, mu'minat, may Allah Ta'ala grant us barakat in our homes, in our families, with our parents, with our children. May Allah Ta'ala give our parents long life and health. May Allah Ta'ala grant our children tawfiq to follow us on Sirat Mustaqim. May Allah Ta'ala give them long life. May Allah Ta'ala grant us barakat in our homes, in our livelihoods, in our careers, in our professions. Those who are seeking a life partner, may Allah Ta'ala grant them that happiness. Those who have a life partner, are married, wish for children, may Allah Ta'ala grant them that happiness. Those who are seeking a home to live in, may Allah Ta'ala grant them that happiness. Those who are wishing for anything in this world, small, great, by the virtue of our Mawali Tahirin Mumineen, pray, may Allah Ta'ala fulfill our wishes, ease our difficulties, multiply our rewards and barakat. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, may Allah Ta'ala continue the barakat of salawat till the day of judgment.
शहनी हुब दिल महर दम समाया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो पंजतन ने तैब नानवार ने अहमदे खीने सजदा बजाया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो हुबहू शहने देखीन कुतुबुल हुदा शहनी सूरत ने दिल में समाया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो कम छे शुक्र मखालोनी ज्योति करी शहना पाक दम मा पहनाया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो वलवालो छे यमानी गुलाम नोइम शहनी खिदमत हमेशा बजाया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो शहनी हुब दिल महर दम माया करो मारिफत साथ सजदा बजाया करो
अज़ादारान हुसैन माशर al-mu'mineen उसीकुम बितक़्वल्लाहि व ताअतिही व खश्यतिही व मुराक़बतिही. Mu'mineen, Muayyad says, I counsel you to be mindful of the Almighty, obedient to Him, to remain ever conscious of His watch, to disassociate yourselves from the people who betrayed the trust in their wali, who assaulted the family of their Prophet Muhammad. Mu'mineen, Muayyad says, Falayta Shari, I wish I knew, was the compensation of Muhammad for guiding the ummah that they tore his successor Ali, usurped his mimbar and mihrab, that they denied his daughter Fatima her rightful inheritance, or was his reward that they pierced Rasulullah's heart by slaying his son, the piece of his heart, that they held captive his daughters, his son slain. Azadarane Hussain, the day of Ashura is like the day of judgment. Maulana Taher Saifuddin says in his Qasida, Yawman min al-hashri arwa idil imamul arwa fi akhir al-ahd wadda tilka as-sariyat ajma wa zaina al al-abai wa la fataya Husayna ya sayyid ash-shuhada'i.
يوم من الحشر أروائذ الإمام الأروى في آخر العهد ودا تلك سريات أجمع وزنا للعباء وعلى فتايا حسين يا سيد الشهداء.
Maulana Taher Saifuddin laments Hussain, remembers the day of Ashura, says that this day more fearsome than the day of resurrection, Yawmul Hashr, the day in which the noble Imam Aqa Hussain, at the very end of his time on earth, bid farewell to his Ahl Bayt. Hussain bestowed nas on Ali Zainul Abideen, ensured that the Imamat would continue. He bid farewell to Zainab, Kulthum, praying salam on each one of them until Hussain proceeded to battle. Having sacrificed his Ahl Bayt and Ashab, Abbas, Ali Akbar, having buried Ali Asghar in a small grave in Karbala, Hussain proceeded for his final battle, fought against the Yazidi army until Jibreel descended from the heavens, conveyed the Almighty's salam, offered the service of all the malaikat, asked Hussain that if you wish, we will annihilate this entire Yazidi army. Hussain, Allah's wali, has all the knowledge. He asks Jibreel, but tell me this, Jibreel, what is the action? What is the decision that has Allah's pleasure? Khudani marzi suche. Jibreel answers that Allah's pleasure is that now you choose Shahaadat, martyrdom. Mumineen, you heard in the beginning of the Waaz that Hussein's martyrdom, because of Hussein's Shahaadat, the kalimatu Shahaadat, La ilaha illallah, the religion of Islam, the da'wat will persist. For that, Hussain is willing to sacrifice. Hussain sheathed his sword, descended from the horse, sat with his back resting on a tree. Hussain, his heart is already wounded by the slaying of his Ahl Bayt and Ashab. Now the Yazidi army surrounds Hussain. One strikes him with a sword, another with a spear, one with a stone. Mumineen, it is narrated that one stone hit Hussein's forehead. The blood flowed. Hussain took the blood, covered his face, and said, Hakada al-Qajadi Rasulullah. This is how I will meet my grandfather Rasulullah. Azadarane Hussain, Lain Shimar, came and struck Hussain. Hussain is laying on the plains of Karbala, the burning sands of Karbala. Hussain sits on, Lain Shimar sits on Hussein's chest, grabs Hussein's beard, strikes Hussain with a blunt sword on his hulqum 12 times, until Hussain says, your sword will not work here. This is where Rasulullah kissed me. I will bow down in sajda. If you wish to slay me, then you may. Hussain bows down in sajda, symbolizes that in his succession there is imamat till the day of Qiyamah. Hussain does dua that the Hussaini da'i will establish da'wat in the time of the Imam's seclusion, and in that dua, mu'mineen, remember that Hussain remembered each and every one of us. Hussain is in sajda, Hussain is in dua, and Lain Shimar, severs Hussein's noble head from his pure body. Ya Hussein!
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 أف وشبشب آخر أف وشبشب أف وشبشب آخر أف وصبح عاشوراء أف وشبشب آخر أف وصبح عاشوراء रात थी कयामत की रात थी कयामत की हश्र का सवेरा था जलजलों में दुनिया थी आसमां लरजता था बेकरार मौजे थी शोलबार दरिया था बेकरार मौजे थी शोलबार दरिया था इब्न साक़िए कौसर इब्न साक़िए कौसर 3 दिन से प्यासा था जलजलों में दुनिया थी आसमां लरजता था
Hussein, may Allah salawat and salam shower upon Aqa Hussein, his Ahl Bayt and Ashab, Mu'mineen. We will now recite in a short time the Shahaadat of Abu Shuhada, the father of the martyrs, Amirul Mumineen, salawatullahi alayhi. Amirul Mumineen, after burying Maulatuna Fatima, only 70 nights after burying Rasulullah, returned home. Maulana Taher Saifuddin used to say this in his bayan, कि Ali no su हाल हसे कि घरे आया अने घर में फातिमा नथी. Ali returned home after burying Fatima. Fatima is no longer at home. Hussein, Ali's 2 young children at that time are with Ali, Mu'mineen. They ask Ali, when will our Ma Fatima return? Mu'mineen, it is narrated that Amir al-Mumineen visited Fatima's Qabr Mubarak for ziyarat, brought Hassan and Hussein with him. Fatima had told Amir al-Mumineen that Hassan and Hussein, you can placate them, you can console them, but never stop them from coming to my ziyarat for my qabr. That will bring sukoon to me. Amir al-Mumineen visited Fatima's Qabr Mubarak, recited these verses, Kunti sawad al-naziri, فبكى عليك الناظر من شاء بعدك فليمت فعليك كنت أحاذر.
كنت السواد لناظري فبكى عليك الناظر من شاء بعدك فليمت فعليك كنت أحاذر.
He says to Fatima, you are the pupil of my eyes. Now these eyes weep for you, Fatima. Let death now take whomever it will after you. It was your loss that I feared. Amir Mumineen then went to the qabr of Rasulullah, prayed salam, assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, my salam upon you Rasulullah, my salam, and salam on behalf of your daughter, that very soon reunited with you. Amir Mumineen says at the qabr of Rasulullah that my sabr, I am one who is very forbearant, I am a sabir, but my sabr has worn thin by the loss of your daughter. After your demise, she very soon left us to be with you. Amir Mumineen says to Rasulullah, if you are asking what my state is, Rasulullah, Amma, Layli fasahad, Amma huzni fasarmad. Know this, Rasulullah, that my nights are sleepless. My grief is endless. Azadaran Ali. Amirul Mumineen, salawatullahi alayh, established the Dawat, nurtured Hassan and Hussein, mentored Hassan and Hussein. His knowledge he gave to Hassan and Hussein, the Kitabul Ilm he gave to Hassan and Hussein, until he had received the Zahiri Khilafat, the political temporal leadership. He fought the Nakithin, Qasitin, Mariqin, battled the Munafiqeen, repaid Rasulullah's debt of battling the Munafiqeen, Mu'mineen, until in the very last Shahr Ramadan al-Muazzam, Amir Mu'mineen's last Ramadan, on the 19th of Ramadan, Amir Mu'mineen was slain. In that Ramadan, Amir Mu'mineen used to sit in the masjid in Kufa. Mu'mineen, it is narrated that once Amir Mu'mineen had the temporal rule, whatever wealth he had, whatever income he had, he would spend fi sabilillah. He would feed the people of Kufa, feed the masakin. Amir Mu'mineen was in the masjid of Kufa. In one chest, he kept millet flour. One day, a miskin, a poor man, walked from there. He addressed Amir Mu'mineen. He did not recognize Ali and said, "Oh, devotee of Allah, I am also hungry. Give me some food from your chest." Amir Mu'mineen said, "Oh, miskin, this is food that you will not able to digest, you will not able to swallow." The miskin, the poor man, insisted. Amir Mu'mineen gave him the millet flour. His throat clenched up. Amir Mu'mineen gave him water. The poor man, the miskin, asked, "That millet flour is very cheap. Why do you put a lock on this chest?" Amir Mu'mineen said, "My children, they mix sugar and ghee, butter with this millet flour, and Ali likes to eat very simple food."
एक पितारी लैने ते माँ जौनो आतो धरता था, लोखो आतो धरी पितारी ऊपर तालू जरता था। तिवारे के अजनबी ये पूछूं चोर थी आप सुधरता था, जौनो आतो घनो छे सस तू इटलो सी पर करता था। कयो असी ए फरजंद मारा घीने खांड मिलावे छे, जरू छुतालो ते खातिर में अली ने लोखो भावे छे। ज़ादरान अली अमीरुल मुमिनीन salawatullahi alayhi told the poor man, "Oh miskin, go to Kufa. There you will find two young men who feed all the people of Kufa. Go to this place." As you heard, Amir Mu'mineen spent all his wealth feeding all of the people of Kufa. Mu'mineen, Hassan and Hussein used to instruct a herald to go in each of the streets of Kufa and announce that in the home of Ali, in the home of Hassan and Hussein, food is available for all. All are welcome. Mu'mineen, the miskin, the poor man, came to Hassan Hussein's home. Hassan Hussein, all the others had eaten and left. Called the miskin, sat him down, brought food. Food was brought and placed in front of the miskin. The miskin starts eating. As he eats, he starts to cry. Hussein Imam asked him, "Why are you crying? If you have people at your home, if you have children who are hungry, Allah Ta'ala has given us much ni'mat, much blessings. Take food home." The poor miskin, the poor man says, "I have no one at home. The reason I am crying is that I just came from the masjid in Kufa.
There, I saw a pious man sitting alone in the mihrab, eating plain raw millet flour. Hassan Hussain said, "Oh, poor man, oh miskeen, that man, that pious man that you saw in the mihrab in Kufa, that is none other than our father Ali. Rasulullah's wasi Ali, the one who established Islam Ali. Ya Ali.
Ya Ali,
Ya Ali,
Ya Ali,
Ya Ali,
Ya Ali,
Ya Ali.
हुसैन ये आंसुनी जुबानी आंखों थी आंसू वरसावा कयूं के वो दुर्वेश नबी ना भाई हमारा छे बावा अली खलीफा कहे छे तेने दीन ने जे ये जम्बावा फाटा पहनी आ तो फाकी खिलावा सबने पहनावा रोयो मुसाफिर बेखुद थैया देखी अली नी सीरत ने सोनी आलिम जामी ये आ लिखी अली नी फजीलत ने याली
याली,
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 याली
Ali, after battling the Naqisin, Qasitin, Mariqin, the Munafiqeen, Amirul Mumineen in the last battle saw a sign that Rasulullah has said, once you find this man killed in the battlefield, know Ali, that your end is near. Amirul Mumineen found that man, Dhustudayya, and said, when will that day now come? When the blood from my head will color red the hair from my beard. Azadara and Ali in the last Ramadan. Muawiyah became bolder and bolder, start intimidating and continued to threaten Amir al-Mu'mineen. All the people of Kufa betrayed Ali. Amir al-Mu'mineen was in deep shock because of the betrayal. In the last Ramadan, he chose that he would do iftar, break the fast in Ramadan, only with 3 morsels of food, 3 small bites. Every night, he would go to the home of one of his children for iftar. One day at the home of Hassan, one day at the home of Hussein, one day at Zainab's home, one day at Kulsum's home. On one such night, Amir al-Mumineen went to Zainab's home. Zainab, in addition to a small pot of salt and 3 pieces of bread, placed a bowl of curd also in front of Amir al-Mumineen. Amir al-Mumineen gestured to Zainab, Zainab, my beloved daughter, would a daughter wish that a father would be burdened more on the day of judgment? Zainab submits to Ali, what is my mistake, Aqa? Amir al-Mumineen says, my beloved daughter, why have you put this extra curd on the table? I wish my days are few. I wish that when I meet my Lord, my stomach is hungry. Azadaran Ali. The night, the eve, as the eve of the 19th of Ramadan approached, Mumineen, it is narrated that Ibn Muljim prepared his poisonous sword, kept the sword in poison for many, many days. It is also narrated that Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, the Umayyad Khalifa, asked Zuhri, one of the historians at that time, that what is a sign? What was a sign of Ali's Shahaadat, his martyrdom? Zuhri said that the day that Ali was struck in Kufa, on that very day in Jerusalem, far and away, not a single pebble was raised, but from beneath it fresh blood flowed. Azadaran Ali Maulana Taher Saifuddin used to say in his bayan, if pebbles, stones weep for Ali, we are Ali's Shia. remembering his Shahaadat, will we not weep? Will we not call out, Ya Ali, Ya Ali?
Ya Ali,
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 Ya Ali.
Sadaran Ali. The night of Shahadat, the eve of the 19th of Ramadan approached. Amirul Mumineen spent the night in prayer. He would pray, rest, pray again, until later in the night, Amir al-Mumineen throughout the night said, Ma kazabtu ala kuzibtu. I have never lied, Rasul. I have never been told a lie by Rasulullah. Tonight is the night of my Shahadat. Later in the night, as Ali was resting, he saw in a dream that Jibrail is on the mountain of Jabal Abi Qubais, the mountain of Abi Qubais. There he is holding two rocks and strikes them together. Amir al-Mumineen, when he awoke, called Hassan and Hussein, said, Beta, my beloved sons, this is the dream I saw. Hassan and Hussein asked Ali, Aqa Ali, what is the meaning? What is the interpretation of this dream? Amir al-Mumineen says, my beloved sons, Hassan and Hussein, the ta'bir, the interpretation of this dream is this, that your father, this is his last night. He will be martyred, killed. And the rocks that are struck together, the sound that they make that is spread across the world, that means that Ali's matam will be done across the world. Mumineen, it will be done across time. We are here 1400 years later remembering Ali, Ya Ali.
Ya Ali,
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 Ya Ali.
Sadaran Ali. In the morning of the 19th of Ramadan, Amir al-Mumineen prepared for Fajr Namaz to go to the masjid. He wore two waistcoats, went out of his home. In the courtyard, he prayed these verses, Haya zimaka lil mawte, fa innal mawta laqiqa, wa la tajza anil mawte idha halla biwajika.
يا زيماك للموت إذا حل فإن الموت لاقيك ولا تجزى عن الموت إذا حل بواديك.
Mu'mineen recites these verses, prepare yourself for death, for death will meet you soon. Do not recoil from death when it sets up home in your home. Amir al-Mumineen, as he was leaving his home, he had been gifted some geese, long-necked geese. Allah Ta'ala put it in their hearts that Ali is now bidding you farewell for the last time. The geese came and held on to Amir al-Mumineen's clothes. Zainab Kulsum shunned them away. Amir al-Mumineen said, they are simply bidding me farewell. Take care of these animals after I am gone. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen salawatullahi alayhi entered the masjid of Kufa for the Fajr prayers. Amir al-Mumineen, with a loud voice, a thunderous voice, declared the azan. The sound, the voice of that azan echoes even today. In the masjid, three shayateen, Ibn Muljim, Shabib and Mardan, with the intent of killing Ali, they lay in the masjid. Ibn Muljim lay there with the sword hidden below his stomach. Amir al-Mumineen woke them up. Mumineen, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin said, Suti hui fitnat jagi uthi. The sleeping evil, awaken. Ravi Jasos. The narrator narrates this, that at that time, such a wind blew in the masjid in Kufa that all the lanterns went dark, were extinguished. It attests to the fact that with Ali's Shahaadat, the whole world will plunge into darkness. Azadaran Ali, Amirul Mumineen, entered the Mihrab, where he prayed Tahiyyatul Masjid. There, he entered and said, Allahu Akbar, attested, established the da'wat of Tawheed. Amirul Mumineen prayed the qira'at, standing upright, establishing the da'wat of Rasulullah, attesting to his da'wat. Amirul Mumineen said, Allahu Akbar, went into ruku', attested to his unique station, wasayat. Ibn Muljim at that time came and stood behind Amirul Mumineen. Amirul Mumineen then bowed down in sajda. Attested that in his succession there will be imamat, one imam after another. Ibn Muljim removed his poisonous sword. Amirul Mumineen went into the one sajda after another, that the succession will continue, one imam after another. Azadaran Ali, Mushkil Kushaye Do Alam Ali, Rasulullah's Wasi Ali, Allah's namesake Ali. Our Maula Ali is in sajda in the mihrab in Kufa, and Ibn Muljim struck his head with this poisonous sword. Amirul Mumineen, at that very instance, says, Fuzto Rabbil Kaaba, I swear by the Lord of the Kaaba, I am victorious. Because of me, Shia to Ali Numul Faizun. Because of me, my walayat, my Shia are victorious. They will have Jannat. Azadaran Ali. The angels wept for Ali. Jibrail cried in the heavens, my mentor Ali has been slain. He has been struck. O Shia of Ali, call out to Ali. Weep for Ali. Ya Ali.
Ya Ali,
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 Ya Ali Maula,
Ya Ali, Haydar Maula,
Ya Ali Maula,
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 Haydar Maula,
Ya Hussein,
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 Ya Hussein.
Azadaran Ali. May Allah's salawat shower upon Amirul Mumineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. May we, by our walayat, by virtue of our walayat, muhabbat for Ali, be amongst those Shia who are victorious. Mumineen, whatever virtuous words I have spoken in the Waaz today, I attribute to my Maula, my Mufid Bawaji Sahib, Maulana Qutbuddin, and his successor, my Aqa, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin. Whatever errors I may have committed, I seek forgiveness for. I am solely responsible for. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات. الفاتحة.